Happy Friday, everyone. And as always, thanks for joining us here on Forecasting with Friends. I made a post on social media and I'm like, we have this show. So if you're watching, maybe you can share it to, let folks know that this is a fun way to learn about the weather and learn a little bit more about your favorite meteorologist at Fox 26. But it's Friday. We're really excited. And I normally do a big football forecast and go through all of them, but I'd rather take the time to talk about the tropics because things are heating up. And want to let you know that it's nothing imminent, meaning it's not going to be happening within the next several days, but potentially a bit longer term. But the thing is, what we're watching, and I'll get into more detail on it, hasn't even formed yet. So there's so many questions about that. But I think it's just a really good time. We're getting close to fall. Folks are maybe like, hey, tropics have been quiet recently. And, the last few weeks, especially here in H-Town, it has been. But we're still in the hurricane season. I know myself, I have my own little hurricane kit with everything that I need in a portion of the pantry. But it just so happens one day I really wanted soup and there was a can of soup in there. So I've been taking away from it. So I really just need to go replenish it, because the cool thing is with the non-perishables, hopefully we don't have to use it again. And then at the end of the season, you can break out that soup and whatever else is in there. Fruit snacks. Don't ask, I don't know. Anyway, let's talk tropics and get into it. So we are monitoring 3 areas of disturbed weather right now. These are the same 3 that we were talking about yesterday. 2 of them are in the open waters of the Atlantic. And the far right is the remnants of what was Tropical Storm Gordon. Again, has a really low chance to redevelop. It would likely stay out to sea. Then we have the second area of disturbed weather. That's going to be the 20%er in the middle. Also a low chance for development, but something that we could be watching. If anything, I think it would stay away from any large landmass. Bermuda's kind of out there. Something that we'll be watching. Again, no imminent threat to them. Just, I like to keep my eyes and ears on a swivel, especially when you're talking about the tropics, to see, okay, what could potentially be in the path of that. But nothing has formed. It is an invest, meaning the National Hurricane Center is investigating it. Now, the area that's shaded in orange on the left-hand side of your screen, not an invest yet. Reason being, the area of low pressure hasn't even formed yet. That's likely going to be happening sometime, let's say late this weekend, if not early next week. So let's just talk about what's happening down near Central America. So it's something we call the Central American Gyre. And it sounds like it's big and it's difficult to explain, but really we're going to just break it down for you. What is it? Well, it's a very broad area of low pressure. I mean, you can see just how much real estate that this gyre usually takes up. Now, it's over and or near Central America. And what happens with these in general produces a lot of heavy rain for that area. You've probably heard of mudslides in Central America because of all the heavy rain, and this would be what it is from. Also rough surf, especially if it's out over the Caribbean. With that counterclockwise flow, it would be bringing a lot of big waves on shore. But what can happen is that this gyre could actually aid in formation of a tropical cyclone. So again, compared to how big this thing is, a tropical cyclone would be much smaller, but it just would kind of spin off this larger area. So that's kind of what we are watching for right now. And I mentioned the area of low pressure has not even developed yet. Likely going to happen this weekend into early next week. But when it does form, we will likely see gradual development, so maybe a little bit of strengthening as it moves north and northwest. So the orange spot that you're seeing shaded over the Yucatan, it's bleeding a little bit into the northwestern Caribbean and then into the southern Gulf. That is not a track by any means. What this is showing is, hey, in this shaded area is where we could be seeing some tropical development. And the exact track and strength of this is still yet to be determined. We're not going to know that for days. Reason being, it hasn't formed yet. And so I think that's why, I was trying to hit home yesterday, on social media, there are so many folks that can just go to, let's say, Tropical Tidbits, which is a website that We look at a ton of models. They have everything. They are awesome. But anybody can just go take a screen grab and then post it on social media. But you can't look at that just one model run of just one model as gospel, because so much can change. And like we mentioned, this thing hasn't even formed yet. So if it does move into the Gulf, whatever it is, at whatever strength, it's probably going to be later next week. So we're talking just about a week out. And we always say with these tropical systems, you know, models change from one run to the other pretty quickly, and no one's in agreement yet. So we still have a lot to discover. And I have our GFS model. So this is the American model. Again, just one of them. We're not taking this as gospel, but it's showing nothing forming Saturday. Maybe Sunday we start to see some tropical moisture early Monday in the Caribbean. Then it starts to maybe get its act together come Tuesday, Wednesday. And this would have it move very close to the peak of the Yucatan and then just to the west of Cuba there. And again, this is next Thursday afternoon. So if it does become a named storm, or, you know, either the other two out in the Atlantic, Helene would be next. Then we have Isaac, Joyce, and Kirk. Now, I will get to the European model. The graphics are just a little bit out of order, so stick with me. But I just wanted to show that this is what the formation zones are for the month of October. Again, we're going back from data from 1944 to 2020. So we normally see tropical activity start in the northwestern Gulf and then kind of move anywhere out toward the western Atlantic. So it's kind of interesting that we're still in September, yet we could potentially be seeing, you know, system, something like that in these areas. So just to say that this season has been anything but normal. So just don't let your guard down. But here's a look at the European model. Remember the GFS was showing, okay, Sunday, Monday, that moisture gets into the Caribbean, and then it kind of goes over Central America by Monday, but then potentially could be seeing something shift into the southern Gulf by, again, Thursday. So the timing is kind of there, but strength and location is a really big question mark at this time. So please just stick with us. I promise we'll bring you the latest. We want to be transparent with y'all and keep you guys updated. So we've got your back. But I want to get to a few other stories for ya because it's the weekend. What can you do? Well, celebrations are happening all month long for National Hispanic Heritage Month. Tonight, more than 50 performers will put on a show at Discovery Green for the Mexico and El Corrales event. And I'm sorry that I just butchered that. Not sure, but it is going to be fun. Take a look at all the pictures from years past. It begins at 7 on McKinney Street. The event will feature mariachi bands, dancers. There's going to be drinks, traditional Mexican favorites like elote, oh, one of my favorites, and agua fresca. Oh, guys, that sounds like so much fun. I just can't wait. Know a lot of folks are going to enjoy, and the weather's going to be nice for it. And speaking of, no, it's not fall yet. And it might not seem seasonally appropriate for this activity for the start of fall, which is on Sunday, might I add. But this weekend is the 36th annual Galveston Sandcastle Festival at East Beach. It's a 2-day event and it will feature live music, local vendors, family-friendly activities, food trucks, and over 60 teams of sandcastle builders. That's impressive. Building takes place Saturday, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m., followed by judging and the award ceremony at 5 the same day. Kids under 12 get in free and adults pay just $10. It is 2 days of fun and it's something you are not going to want to miss. So cool and such a great day to do so. Well, the start of fall, like we've been mentioning, just 2 days away now, and the greater Houston area is getting ready to celebrate. No, it's not necessarily going to feel like it just yet, but there are plenty of outdoor festivals that you can enjoy with the entire family. Fox 26's Coco Dominguez has a look.
All right, good people, the temperatures are starting to drop just a little bit. It's almost fall time. Time to get on out there and enjoy everything fall has to offer, like Froberg Farm. You guys are celebrating 12 years of your fall festival. You've been letting people pick strawberries since 1944. Tell me what's going on. You guys are setting off for the weekend.
That's right. So opening day is this Saturday. And I gotta tell you, we are pumped. This year we have reinvented everything.
Oh my gosh, what do you have?
Okay, so in addition to our famous corn maze, pumpkin patch, of course our beautiful flower fields, we have added things like the apple bunker with 3 apple cannons in it. We've added things like the pig races where you can get up close and personal. It's gonna be awesome.
Oh, there we go. Oh, hell no. This is the apple blasting he was talking about. You put apples in the front and you blast them against the wall.
We have the paintball gallery where you get to shoot at different targets. We have the bee coaster where you get to see a really cool part of the farm in a really fun way. And on top of that, the cherry on top is that everything is dinosaur themed. So there's life-size dinosaurs, Texas snowfruit shaved ice, to our popsicles. It's all dinosaur.
If you can't make it to Alvin, there are other places also celebrating fall this weekend. The Go Bananas Festival is back with the Houston Botanic Garden. Celebrate the world's most popular tropical fruit Saturday with sampling different banana varieties. Judge a banana bread baking competition along with a live DJ, craft station, and banana margaritas. $15 admission for adults and $10 for kids. Head on over to an immersive, magical experience with the Houston Pumpkin Festival at Discovery Green. It kicks off Friday, September 20th through October 27th. Photo ops and the world's largest bouncy pumpkin. This is a ticketed event beginning at $18. How about closing out the summer with a bang? The Galveston Sandcastle Festival is happening on East Beach with more than 40 teams building elaborate and professionally designed sandcastles for top honors. The 2-day event will host live music, sandcastle lessons, and food trucks. $15 to park at the beach. Admission to the festival is $10. 3601 West Highway 6. We're here in Alvin. Look at him, one of the fastest to go. We have so many fall festivals to enjoy, including right here at Froberg Farm. Thank you so much. This place is great. I got to come back. I'm Coco Dominguez reporting from Alvin. Oh, and tickets are $20. 20 bucks?
20 bucks.
All right, it's Fox 26 News.
The little guy was so cute. Well, we want to bring you some space news. NASA and SpaceX delay Crew 9 from launching. NASA says they're now targeting no earlier than next Thursday. The 2-man crew is headed to the ISS. It was supposed to be 4 people, but when Crew 9 returns in early 2025, the 2 stranded Starliner astronauts will be on board as well. Now, fire crews in Southern California are close to fully containing 3 massive wildfires burning close to Los Angeles, but new fires have erupted in Colorado. This has been California's most active wildfire season since 2021, and I was working in California during that season, and it was active. There's more than 1 million acres charred at this time. A big change in the weather has brought cooler air and calmer winds to the state, giving firefighters that much needed break. But a number of out of control fires are burning, including in Colorado. It's called the Pearl Fire, and it's growing to 128 acres. Hundreds of firefighters are on the scene. The fire forced some evacuations in Livermore, where neighbors are coming together.
We're all out of our houses right now, but we're fine. Everybody's good. Everybody's taken care of. The animals are all good. So, yeah, that's nice.
So good to see the community come together. Now, the federal government is deploying more resources to hard-hit western states, including new technology powered by AI that can detect potential wildfires before they threaten populated areas. Well, guys, we have much more, and I'm telling you, so many dog stories. Oh, you're going to love it. Coming up right after the break.
A little change over time, and the weather is little change over time, and the weather is fine.
Welcome back to Forecasting with Friends. And you guys, these dog videos I'm about to show you are so cute. So trending this morning, an adorable video of a 7-year-old little girl in Massachusetts trying to pull a fast one on her neighbors. She was actually caught on Ring camera swapping out their dog for a stuffed animal. Okay, look at this. She runs away and the dog's like, huh? what are we doing? And then he's like, okay, I'll come with you. I'll come with you. So he was a little bit hesitant at first, but then he followed the little girl to her house. The neighbor who saw it all let her feel victorious for a bit before going to get her dog back. She said she didn't consider it stealing since her husky was in on it as well. Oh my goodness. You know, they look the same, right? He has a little collar on and everything. Oh, it's so funny. Well, good thing the neighbors know each other, and I bet that husky just adores that sweet little neighbor girl. So adorable. But for weeks, citizens on Bolivar Peninsula were trying to help a stray dog, but no one could get close enough to the animal to actually collar him. Well, someone finally rescued the dog after he jumped into the bay and started swimming with a dolphin. Fox 26 photojournalist Darlene Jenkins-Ferries introduces us to the people who are now caring for him, and let me tell you, it's a tearjerker.
Every day he just tried to get on the ferry or looked at like every car, not just one or two, not a certain color, every single car. And I mean, people would open their doors, they would bring him food, they'd try to catch him, and he would just run. It hurt like so many people over there. Everybody just wanted to catch him. Everybody wanted him safe because I mean, you know, he has been dumped.
Are you dumping those dogs?
Dumping, I mean, last week alone, I counted 11 dogs were dumped. And Friday was the first day I actually got to put a leash around, like just over his neck, and as soon as he realized it was there, he was gone. But he trusted me enough to come back again. He got off the peninsula the only way he could. He tried and tried and tried the ferry. He couldn't do that. He didn't trust anybody enough to get in a car with them. So he decided the one day to swim.
We started out early in the morning. We went fishing.
I noticed a log floating in the middle of the ship channel, and all of a sudden a dolphin pops up next to it. And I thought, man, is that an injured dolphin? And as we got closer to it, I said, it's a dog. And she's like, a dog? And so we immediately went into, we gotta rescue this dog, right? But he was approaching halfway across the ship channel.
That's okay.
He was exhausted, and he came to the side of the boat, and then he just gave up, and he just said, get me in the boat. We lifted him into the boat, and he did this. He went to the front of the boat to my wife, and he jumped right into her lap just like this.
I was shocked. I just knew that he was tired, and he was tired of running, I believe, and swimming.
I get this phone call, and I guess we have this dog, and it's like, oh my God, I'm just so thankful you got him.
I gave him a good bath, got him cleaned up, let him relax, and then we introduced Loretta Jane to him.
When you dump a dog, there's other resources. There's adoption agencies. There's Facebook these days. Find the dog a home. Don't just dump it.
He didn't want to be alone anymore. We weren't looking for a dog, but we found one that we love. He fits in perfect with us. Yes, he does.
Oh, my heart is just melting. Look how sweet. I'm so glad it's a happy ending. We love our sweet doggies. Okay, you guys got to look at this video. The truth is out. After pandas at a Chinese zoo started panting and barking, officials admitted they aren't real. The zoo says that they painted the dogs white and black to make them look like the real thing. Come on. This is clearly a chow. I just can't believe that. But would this fool you? Some visitors took video of the chow chows. At first, the zoo tried to play it off, claiming the animals were the breed of panda dog. I don't think so. And it's not the first time this has happened. Another Chinese zoo tried the same thing back in May. What? No. That is obviously a dog, and pandas are, I feel like they have a much rounder back end. And these little dogs have their little tail. And chow chows are so sweet, but I'm glad they got caught on this one. Okay, let's tuck you to a dog in Dallas with a horrific case of matted hair. but he will soon has a chance to find his forever home. The 7-year-old Chihuahua mix was found just last week, and the matting was apparently so bad that he couldn't even walk. The poor little guy, look at the difference. So they had a hard time seeing him, but with a little help and a visit to the vet, Noah looks just like a whole new dog. He's not ready for adoption just yet, though. I know hearts everywhere want to adopt this sweet little boy. He still needs to have surgery on a torn tendon, but hopefully they can get him ready to go and adopted very soon. Okay, from dogs to hippos, thanks to social media, a cute baby hippo is the main attraction at a zoo in Thailand. The zoo says so many people are flocking to see her that it causes 2-hour-long traffic jams and lines. So the zoo is putting time limits on visitors. This hippo's name is Moo Deng, which means bouncy pig. She's 2 months old, and if you can't make it to Thailand, the zoo says they're working on setting up a 24-hour live stream for her fans. Oh my God, look at this chunky little girl. Do you guys remember Fiona, the hippo in Cincinnati? And she was a big deal. And I remember I got to go see her kind of after she was a big deal, but it was so cool. And Mama was right up with her. So similar story, but take a look at this sweetheart. Oh, the ears, the smile. And they're so cute. They just eat and walk. Very fun. Well, hopefully we can get that live stream for you soon. But you guys, we're going to take a quick break, and then coming back, I'll have more details on that weekend forecast.
A little change over time, and the weather is
Fox 26 YouTube page. Like and subscribe today.
a little change over time, and the weather is fine.
Welcome back to Forecasting with Friends. I lied earlier. I am going to show some football graphics for you, starting with Friday Night Lights tonight. High school football. Baby, it's Texas. Let's go. Going to be warm though, so make sure you're staying hydrated. Low 90s by the start of the game, and then only drop into the low, if not mid 80s by the end. Now TSU is heading over to Lamar tomorrow. Kickoff at 6 p.m. We'll be in the upper 80s by the start of the game. Mostly clear skies, so thankfully weather not going to be impacting it. Southern U taking on Prairie View A&M at home. 6 o'clock game as well. And it looks very similar to the weather tonight because it's pretty much going to be a copy-paste forecast as we head into tomorrow. Rice at Army, kickoff at 11 a.m. This is in New York, so feeling a bit more like fall. Hey, I think we'll take that. Well, wish we could at least. And then Houston at Cincinnati in Ohio, and this is going to be an 11 a.m. game, so not too bad in the morning. Definitely going to be seeing a lot of sunshine, and temps will be rising to the low 90s. So for us, we're warm with quiet weather. That's been the pattern, and it will be the pattern through at least the start of fall, which is happening on Sunday. So don't mind me if I start dressing up for fall, even though it's not even close to temperature-wise, but you kind of got to get in the spirit, you know. Going to be in the low 80s. I will say could be seen maybe a few showers rolling in early, middle of next week. You know, if anything, it will drop temperatures just a hair, not by all that much. But thanks for joining us all week. We've had so much fun on Forecasting with Friends for you. But make sure you download the Fox Local app. Probably already watching. And we'll continue to bring you the latest in the tropics. Have a good weekend, guys.